wherever you are having a great day or evening. It's Monday night here, the 13th of July, and here in Brisbane in Australia. What I thought I'd do is just quickly show you some of the liveries I did over the weekend, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a livery, hopefully you'll get to see some of the techniques, and I'll talk through the livery design as I start it. I already have an idea of what I want to do and the car that I'm going to be doing it with, but first I just want to show you a couple of cars that I did over the weekend, and I'll start with this car because I bought this on Sunday, I think. My friend Stu, who often plays here with me on the game, loves this car. I think it's the best car and most beautiful car ever designed. It's probably right up there, that's for sure. I probably am still not 100% convinced. I still think that the Ferrari 250 GTO and even the Ferrari P330 are beautifully designed cars as well. But anyway, so this one I've tried to keep it fairly traditional with the colour. It's a very nice grey, but I've tried to keep it very traditional with the striping, with the wheel style, although they are modern wheels, but I think they're representative. I would have loved to have put the single knockoff rims, and when I say knockoff I mean the centre bolt or centre nut is a knockoff because you whack it with a hammer to loosen it like they used to have in the old days when they used to race. But for whatever reason you cannot get those wheels for this car. Anyway, it is a beautiful car, and it goes well to drive as well. So so I just want to show you that car. Now you'll notice there's no YouTube channel reference on this car. I'm still umming and ahhing as to whether I do it or not. Obviously if I do, it'll go right there on the rear of the car as I normally do, but for now I'm just leaving it as is. Alright, so that's the D-Type Jag. It's a $15 million credit car, I shouldn't say dollar, credit car in the game, so certainly one of the more aspirational cars in the game, and I was very happy to add it to my garage. Alright, so the next car that I'll show you that I designed on the weekend, and I did 4, I was very productive over the weekend, is this Ford GT, which is the last one that I did, but certainly as you can see I've got 3 of them, and they're all individual cars, so I can do a photo shot with all 3. I may do that and put it on Scapes Photos soon. I see somebody, hi Nick Pond, how you going? Just going through some of my, cool, going through some liveries that I did, and then I'm going to create a livery on one of the G-Ready Nissan Z cars. This car I finished yesterday, and I did something different with it. As you can see, I've created, it's not a wrap, I've actually created this effect on the back, linking these, I think they're like, it's like a star decal, but I've effectively linked them to give this car a really different look and feel. The colour again is it's a very different coloured blue, but I think it really works on this car. So some feature lines on the front, obviously the outline of the carbon fibre spoiler there. I hope you can, oops, sorry, my bad, I'm trying to get the carbon fibre look for you to see the carbon in that. Yeah, you can see there the grain. So obviously a bit of work to get that edging done around the front there, but overall it wasn't too difficult to design. This car is difficult to do if you're trying to do a separate colour there behind the B pillar. There is no C pillar on this car. Behind that B pillar I've done a couple of my cars, and the work and time involved in trying to get something clean through that I don't know what you call it, a Venturi or a, I don't know what you call it, through that gap. Anyway, as I usually do with my GT40s, it's a Get 40 and this is Get 44. In fact, that's not correct, it's actually Get 46, but anyway, I haven't worried about that for now. I can fix that later. But yeah, I think the combination looks good. I don't know whether Marta thinks the same. But yeah, so that's the GT40. And we'll jump to the next car. Two to go. And I'm saving my favourite one till last. Mind you, I quite like all of them. I was very happy with all four of these liveries. Sometimes you can do a livery and you can put in a lot of time, and then you get to the end of it and you look at it and you go, ooh, I don't know. But I really like doing this livery. It's very bright, obviously, as you can see. But I've done some, bespoke decals, some nice line work. And I don't know why, but I really like the Donkey Kong logo. So yeah, it's a bit of work around the front again. It's very tricky doing these front lips, these splitters down the bottom of the car at the front, getting that edging. You've just got to be a bit finicky and muck around with it. Obviously, that inset is not that hard to do. I sort of created a bit more on the bonnet following that scoop look with those carbon graphite scoops, or Venturis I should be calling them, to give it front end downforce. The roof, the rear wing, Pirelli and Aston Martin, obviously, it's an Aston Martin car. It's a Vantage Group 3 race car. One of the few cars that I've done black wheels on, but I thought in this case the black was the right colour choice. I can probably drop the suspension down a bit more too, which would probably make it look a bit better, but the GR3s certainly have a bit more ground clearance above the wheel arches, or a bit more clearance above the wheel arches. But yeah, I quite like this livery. As I always say, I'm probably a bit biased about my own work, so I'm more than happy for people to give the feedback on the channel. So please leave a comment, let me know what you think, good or bad, any ideas. Same for livery designs. If there's anything you'd like me to design, then please just contact me and tell me, and I'm more than willing to have a crack at it. Or if you have any questions about livery design because you're new to it and you're not quite sure what to do, again, just drop me a line. This is the favourite car that I did over the weekend, and I suspect that it might even become my all-time favourite livery. I think for me the combination of this colour and the colour scheme, to be more accurate, on this car is just yeah, for me it's just beautiful. I don't know what else to say. Again, a lot of work done around the nose, around the edging, and the specific big brake ducts that this car has. But this colour on this car, it's just... I finished making it, and I jumped straight into a car show lobby which was being ran by a guy called Dem Barber. He's a very good designer, and drove in and across in front of all the cars and parked it, and straight away he just sent me a comment saying that's dope, and it actually won. It actually won the car show. So it's been in 3 car shows now and won 2 out of 3. Mind you, the one that it didn't win was being judged by a livery downloader, so I take that kind of result with a grain of salt, because generally speaking, guys that download liveries and don't create them don't know what they're looking at and are easily fooled by other downloaded liveries, which happened in the case of that show. So I don't really count that third result. So far it's batting 100 out of 100, but that colour paint on this car, it's just Oh, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I want to lick it. Which sounds really weird, but what I mean is the colour just looks so yummy. Yeah. I haven't shown you the roof, sorry, my bad. So that's the roof looking down. Yeah, great car, and I really enjoy driving this car as well. So, alrighty, so that's the liveries that I did over the weekend, the 4 of them. Which I think took me close to 380 liveries, but again, that's not, in my mind, that's not actually correct, because there are a couple of iterations of single livery. For example, the R34 Nissan GTR that I shared. I have the shared version, which you can download if you do a search for Iflowboy or Nissan GTR. You'll have to search, because I put it onto the shared livery site about 2 weeks ago now, or maybe even longer, so you just have to dig a bit. And then I did my own version, and the only difference between the two is my version has different rims, my preferred rims, and my one doesn't say shared livery on the back, whereas the shared livery one does say shared livery. Anyway, so that's enough of the Zonda, although I could look at it for quite a long time. You may not feel the same, so I'll spare you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start a new design, but before I do, there's just one decal that I need to get from the library. So, and it's more because I don't know the style of the logo, and I hope I can find it. Oops, no, typo. If I knew the logo style, then I would probably not be doing what I'm doing now. Sorry, error by me. But because I don't know the style, I'm going to get myself one of the decals so I can just see. And I'm hoping for one that's the one that I want, I think. Yeah, hopefully I can change the colour, so that would be great. Ah, okay. So I may have an issue because of what I want to do, but I guess I won't know until I try. So just leave a note to say thanks. I think for the designers that do these, you need to, show your respect by leaving them a message saying thanks. So that's what I tend to do. Okay, now we can get into it. Now I don't particularly want to do a particularly intricate design, but then I often think that when I first start, and then I end up doing intricate design. Now I've got to remember where to find this car. I think I have to go there and go to SEMA, I think. Or maybe not. Where am I looking? Ah, here we go. Yes, this is where I have to go. So this is not your standard 260 or 240Z. I think it'll be a 240Z looking at it. This is a modified car for a car show. You can see straight away roll cage inside, flared guards, cutaway guards, big spoiler at the front. So not a standard 240Z anyway. Paint. Now I want to do something a little bit different. Not different in terms of colours in the game, but different as in colours that I would normally do. doesn't that stick out in your eyes? I was hoping something different. I don't mind that baby blue colour. Alright, maybe I'll have a look at some other colours first. I don't mind that colour as per se, but it won't go with what I'm thinking of doing. Maybe that's more in line with what I'm looking for. Okay. I would normally look at more colours before I decide, and I'm really looking at the car and seeing how the surfaces of the car suit the colour. And I'm fairly happy that that looks pretty good. Alright, so what I'm first going to do is oops. Yeah, good. I had this vision in my head of how this was going to go. Now it's not looking so positive. Unless okay. Sorry, just having a button press issue there. Now I'm back on track. Now I'm not going to leave it that colour, but for the moment nice and handy right at the start. I think straight is best. I don't know what colour change will happen on this. Okay, so I'm going to have to do a double layer to do a colour change by the look of it. Just playing around with the colours just to see what combinations work and what colours don't work. Quite like that. Just going to do a bit of work here. Okay. Now, my first error was I didn't duplicate the others. But that's okay. Do it now. And away we go. It saves me rearranging the order. Sometimes when you do that, you get your layers wrong. You've got to rearrange your order. Alright, so now I've done that. Silly. Sorry, I started on the wrong side, which I should never do, but anyway, that's okay. No, I was right in the first place. So I'm doing this in reverse, so I'm just making sure I get my layering right. Just make that a bit smaller. No, don't move, just smaller. Yeah, like that. Now, of course, I've done this in reverse because normally I would do all this on the other side, but that's okay. We can do this. And then we should be back on track. Excuse me. Okay, that's good. The bonnet. I'll come back to the bonnet because I want to think about striping first. Okay. So I've just sort of created that visual. Ah. Geez, I'm pressing the button the wrong way a lot tonight, folks. Sorry. I just realised I didn't do it the right way, did I? Ah. Oh, it's back to where it started. What am I doing? That's better. That's what I wanted to do. Don't know I didn't do that in the first place. Alright, that's better. Now we're back on track. Sorry, folks. I think I'm thinking too many things at the same time. Okay. Do I want another line at the bottom there? Yes, I do. Alright, so the flared guard's upsetting this line, so what I'm going to do is stop it at the guard. Okay. So I'm just making some, I guess what you'd regard as an exit line. I just realised I made an error. Which I have to fix. Because it's wrong on this side, there's a good chance it'll be wrong on the other side, so I'll just do it again to make sure it's right. Oh, I didn't do a flip. Try one more time. Sorry guys, I'm not normally this untidy. Okay, it's better. So I'm just going to create a new strip for the spoiler rather than try and make that work with this single strip. So now all I've got to do is just do a bit of matching. Looks okay, but once I put it in the same colour I'll have a better idea. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so I'll continue that line around onto the front spoiler, but at the moment I want to just think about, do I need anything else? These guards, I'm in two minds whether I do something to accent them. I could, at least the front one I could. So this is a very simple technique, folks. You can do one of two things with what I'm about to do. You can either use a full circle or a half circle. Given the shape of these guards, I'm going to run with a half circle. Because of that big cutaway more than anything you can see there behind the front wheel. So I'm just going to position it down a bit until I get myself where I want to be. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult to do this on these guards. I have to do a couple of pieces on this to get it right based on the shape. Not very happy with that at the moment, but yeah. I could make it thicker, but then I worry about what that's going to look like. Alright, for now I'm going to keep it. But I still reserve the right to remove it or change it later on. Okay. I think for the bonnet... Oh. Gee, people, sorry. My brain's not in gear tonight. Yeah, I think for this... Again, I want to do my own big G. So the bonnet is the bonnet, so that's good. Flip that. Thank you. Okay, good. Whoa, meant to be too small there, didn't I? Okay. So I'm just gonna do something different with, well, not something different, but just gonna try something. Again, anybody that does design, encourage you to consider doing the same. Okay. So yeah, so like I said, I'm trying to do something a bit original, which is a nice thing to aspire to, I guess. If you're doing livery design, it certainly helps to keep it original. So I'm mindful of the time, it's 37 minutes and people's attention span or interest, so I might stop the broadcast and I might come back and do another one where I complete this livery. What I'm about to do is, and I won't do it before I finish the broadcast, is put again the matching lip around the front spoiler, which this one appears to be a little bit easier and more compliant than most, which is a great thing, but it's still got its challenge. You can see there on the right hand side with what's flaring up, which I don't really want, so that means I have to bring that back and look at a two-piece scenario now for either side, because obviously the shape of the car doesn't like when you try to stretch or extend one of these decals over it. Obviously there's a bit of a change there in the, if you like, the aspect of the spoiler. The lip rolls over. Anyway, it is what it is. So I'll just do this, and then I will end the broadcast and come back to you soon to complete it. But again, I'm trying not to go overboard with this car, but I am trying to respect the fact that it's a vehicle that was done by the G-Ready Performance people. So I'm just trying to respect that with the livery. I probably will change the wheels, and I'll talk about wheel selection as well. It is one of my favourite wheel rims that they've got on this car, but I'm going to check some other rims just in case. Yeah. Alright, well that's, probably about 25% done, maybe 20% done. But hopefully it's starting to take shape, and you can see that it's starting to take shape. Never know what to call these things, so I'm just going to go with what I think of it as. Alright. That's interesting. Oh, because of the shape of it. Yep. Alright, so I'm just going to save it, and then I'll come back to it in the near future, maybe tomorrow, and complete it with a second video, because my intention is for these videos to not be longer than 45 minutes. Livery design does take time. I can't falsify that fact. but perhaps from a viewer perspective, you probably want to see something more entertaining than somebody fiddling around with one particular decal that takes up a lot of time to get right. So I'm trying to do a livery design where I don't have to have that worry, where I'm not going for symmetry or matching a line or a contour exactly on the car. But even so, you can still appreciate that there is a fair amount of time involved in getting a livery up off the ground and going. Alrighty, now we're done. It's just finishing the save, and then I will let you all go. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, please follow me. The more people I get, the more chances are that I can devote more time to this pursuit and continue to create better and better and better content for you to enjoy watching. So for now, take care, stay COVID safe, and I'll see you all again soon.